It's the big day. Man United can go clear top of the league by 3 points for the first time in over 2.5 years. In fact, I lie. It's 3.5 years. A big night at Turf Moor. A massive test of mental strength and tactical nous for Ollie and his team. Can they get over the line, or are Man United going to bottle it? Smash the like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace. Let's go. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's hopefully going to be happy top of the league day for Manchester United. It is only the 12th of January. We're not even officially 50% of the way through the season yet, but it does mark I think it marks something really kind of important for Manchester United. It's one of the internal gateways I've been talking about to hopefully push ourselves onto that next level mentally. But we have to also look at this from the other side. What if it goes wrong? What if Ollie? What if Rashford? What if Bruno? What if Pogba? What if Greenwood, Martial, Maguire and co cannot get over the line tonight as well? It is a distinct possibility. One that has been rearing its way through my body physically throughout the course of the day. And the more I think about the game tonight, 8:15 kickoff. Remember, we're going to be live at full time for you as ever. I'm nervous, but I am 100% behind Ollie. I'll be chuffed to bits if he can get us there. But then come 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, work time again. Massive game at the weekend against Liverpool. But I don't think we can look beyond the end of today's game. It's going to be a real big, tough test. Burnley are going to be tough. Burnley are going to be hard to break down. There is no doubt about it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. They're going to be at us. They're going to be difficult to break down. Low block. We've struggled against low blocks on a number of occasions. But do we have the mental strength? Do we have the perseverance? Do we have the tactics to go 3 points clear at the top of the league today? We're going to take a look at some of Ollie's comments, one of which are highlighted massively. You can, by the way, follow my brand new Twitter account. I decided not to wait for the appeals. So I got a response from Twitter, and they said they're happy to review my conduct after I did. I replied to a tweet from Man United, and I called Ed Woodward a really bad word. I got banned for that, which was weird, really. I see a lot worse stuff, but there we go. Also, they said, we found some copyright stuff on your Twitter account. So, like I've shared videos of like Premier League goals. They weren't happy. I'm sort of like, well, I only when you hold down the button on the screen on the iPhone and it says, do you want to share video? That's all I did. I felt that was weird. But I thought rather than wait for the appeal, I decided I would, instead of waiting, I just start a new account. It'd be quicker. It'd be easier. I'm sharing the link now in the live comment section. If you would be so kind as to go and follow my brand new personal Twitter account. T Flewers is the name. Go and get that done. We're going to open the lines for you all to call in with a little bit later as well. I want to hear your views and I want to hear your opinions. But in relation to what was said, I want to go to this comment. I really want to read this out because it was intriguing to me. Legitimately intriguing to see this here. This is what Ollie has said. We'll put it up on the screen. Stretford Paddock Twitter account. I saw this on. It says here, it goes, there are tests every game is different. Watford gave us a test. Burnley is a test. Liverpool is another. Then you go to Fulham, which is a different test again. No one will remember what the league table looked like on the 12th of January 2021. That's true to an extent, Ollie. That is true to an extent. You remember who was top on the 12th of January if you fight on and we continue to improve and if we continue to motor on forward. Nobody remembers that we were 12th if by the 12th of February, we're sitting in 6th place. So it's important to get tonight's game done, to get over the line and to push on from that point. I think they are brilliant words from Ollie. I really do. I think what he's talking about there is sensible. The tweet in itself here It says another quote here from Ollie. We'll put this up in big so you can see again. He says, for me, my eyes are on Tuesday, and then we see where we are after that one. Every game in the Premier League is a challenge. What I like about Ollie's words here again are really important. They're important because we can't look beyond this game. Man United, in my very humble opinion, cannot be thinking beyond this game. They cannot be thinking about life after this football match. They have to be thinking 110% about getting one over. Essentially, they need to be getting one over on Burnley tonight, putting themselves in that commanding position. Now, Ollie will be thinking about Sunday's game. He knows that. But very clever, great leadership words from him just to say that the players are not. And I guarantee you, in that dressing room, he is pumping it down the throats of his players every minute of training. Focus on Burnley, focus on Burnley, focus on Burnley. We don't want to pull off an AJ here. I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua, but I think when he was beat by Andy Ruiz, it's because he had his eye on the fight afterwards too much. I don't think he took the fight too seriously, a little lackadaisical, and then Ruiz came in and was just on point, on fire that night, and it caught him off guard. Man United, from my perspective, we can't be affording to do that. We need to ensure we're out there tonight and firing on all cylinders. We really do. If you are interested in following my brand new Twitter account, that is the page there, @TFluers. You'll see it there. Only a couple of tweets have been made so far. It's not bad, though. One morning, 444 followers in the morning. Happy with that. It's also great to see Rashy trending. My guy, Rashford, trending. Obviously, to do with the food stuff. And it's true. Have you seen these packages? Look at this. 3 days of food for one family. 3 days. And that's for the kids and not the 3 days. That's 3 days food. Come on, bro. This government's got to do £30 as well, you know. Give me £30. I'll go Morrison's or Asda and I'll get a lot more food that's nutritious as well than that. It's crazy. So big up Marcus Rashford for trending as well. I'm going to go to some of your comments. Said, Jeremy, I've not seen you in a while, Jeremy. I'm very well. Thank you for commenting and, of course, always being part of the football terrace. Mohammed here, a big comment. Says, Man United must win the game, to be honest. Even they draw, yes, they will be a point ahead of Liverpool, but if Liverpool beat them on Sunday, there'll be 2 points behind. It would be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I completely agree, Mohammed. I think that tonight, for me, Man United, anything other than a win tonight for Man United is failure. Complete and utter failure. And it will be an embarrassment. Man United should be beating Burnley. What I do find intriguing is the contrast. So it was 12. How do I say this? It was 12 months ago, pretty much to the day, that we got beat 2-0 by Burnley. The Man United team were booed off the park. Booed off the park. It was the height of the Ollie out era. That was where I succumbed to weakness. That was where, for me, I did legitimately. That was where I succumbed to the weakness, and it made me. I don't know. I was just so angry, frustrated, couldn't see the wood for the trees, and I turned massively on Ollie. We, of course, have seen since that point in this last 12 months the turnaround of games, the level of performance, the volume of win. Remember the win percentage from Ollie being appointed the permanent coach until that defeat to Burnley where they were booed off the pitch. The win percentage was 33%. We are now sitting at nearly 70%. There's been over double, 100% improvement on our games won, which is tremendous over a 12-month period. The improvement has been impeccable. And to cement that with going top by 3 points is a clear step forward. But it isn't the end goal. And I think that's where some Man United fans and some people need to remain humble. By the way, welcome to Nate at the United Plug. We're going to be going into a partnership with these individuals with some artwork across social media, Twitter and Instagram. Now a moderator at the Football Terrace, real big account. Search United Plug on Instagram and go and follow them. Some of the best artwork around. So go and give them a bit of a follow as well. It means a great deal to us. Twitty said thanks to Bruno. Okay, Bruno's been a catalyst in this. But nobody has ever said that Fergie only had success because of Eric Cantona. Now, where would City have been without a star or two of theirs? Where would Liverpool have been without a star or two of theirs. And it isn't just Bruno. In this last 12 months, Marcus Rashford deserves huge congratulations. Fred, huge congratulations. Back end of last season, Martial was heavily involved. Not a great start to this year, but Martial, over the course of 12 months, been heavily involved. Rashford, I mentioned. Fred, I've mentioned. Maguire, brilliant leadership to get us to this point. Pushed through his own adversity. Had a bad start to the season. Look where he is now. Can he get better? Absolutely. But we are where we are because of the team. Bruno, the catalyst, but it isn't just down to him. Got a man like KJ coming on the show in a few minutes. Then we're going to open the lines up for you. See what I want to see some. Okay. From a psychological standpoint, Burnley is a bigger match than Liverpool. Getting 3 points ahead makes Liverpool chase us when we face them, which allows our counter tactics to work well. Dan, I hope you are right, my old mucker. I hope you're right. The devil's advocate here says a lot of us did those. A lot of us did. Those were dark days. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get the punctuation right there. Listen, I think for me, it's a case of, yeah, I felt dark back then about Man United. I was angry, frustrated, but equally, I didn't see the improvement after Bruno signed coming. And Bruno is a catalyst, as I mentioned. I didn't see it being as good as it has been. And you just can't attack what we're doing now. What we're doing and what we're achieving right now is excellent. LV17 here, becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. Thank you very, very much indeed. Become a first team member of the channel as well, which means a great, great deal to us. It does. Hit that like and share button. We're going to get a man like KJ on in a moment to have his stay. Viva la resistance. KJ's in the house. What you saying, bro?
Yo. What's up, people?
How you doing, bro? How you feeling about tonight?
You know what? Yeah, I haven't really thought about tonight that much. I'm looking forward to the game. But in terms of what it means, normally I'll be like, we have to get over the line. But today I'm taking a different approach. I'm taking a relaxed approach. And at the end of the day, this team is good enough to do it. So all I have to do now is wait. And this is, I've always said this, is a test. And I want to see us pass with flying colours. So I'm just going to sit here, take my time, relax. And at the end of the day, what will be. And I'll be back on here after the game. I'll either be very happy that we've gone top of the league, or I'll be quite frustrated.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all that's going to happen today. So there's no point of trying to pick myself up or not. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting, really, because I feel like it's a big day. It's a landmark moment, potentially. But I also feel that if we don't take it, it still isn't the end of the world. So it's more of a, I think today's win will be a much bigger step forward than it would be backwards if we weren't to win the football match, because we will be. The great thing about sport is you always get presented with more opportunities to take the initiative and to win. Do you get where I'm coming from? That will happen. It's inevitable. And we know this because otherwise, we're going to get to another semi-final. Do you get what I'm saying? We'll be at another semi-final. We'll always get another opportunity to do something. And I think that's where my mind's at with this. But it would just be nice to go into this game against. I think I'm thinking beyond the Burnley game in the sense of Liverpool, thinking I want to go into that game 3 points clear. I want to go into that game with a slight psychological advantage, and it's an intriguing one for me. In terms of sort of teams, starting lineups, we didn't really hear much. You weren't on the United show, and obviously Midnight Vibes took a night off on Sunday. In terms of starting lineup, who do you think is going to be important to start tonight for Ollie to ensure the best team possible is out there?
I think Cavani is a big one because his movement in the box is going to be very important against these Burnley defenders who like to, you know what Burnley do. You know what they're like. They like to 2 banks of 4, soak up the pressure, and if they can get a spell of possession, they'll take the ball forward and then try and cross it into one of Wood or Barnes. So we know how they play.
Yeah.
So I think Cavani in this low block against this low block is going to be very important. If you have Rashi and Martial on both sides, just running at their defenders, causing havoc. Maybe get a cheeky pen. You know what I'm saying? Then yeah, it should be all good. But I think Cavani, I think the front three are going to be the most important today because we're going to be relying on them to cause hella damage.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. I think that I'd love a pen. I'd love a pen to make it work. That'd be amazing. There's a comment here that's first one says, "My guys Terry and KJ. I hope you guys are well. Imagine what an actual proven world-class manager can do with this United team." Do you know what's interesting with that train of thought, Yusuf? I understand it and it makes sense, but we've been there before. So I know now we look back. If I look back at our team, the last time we were top was September 2017. In September 2017, a front three of Rashford, Lukaku, and Mkhitaryan was seen as good. A midfield of Herrera, a 3.5 years younger Matic, and Paul Pogba was looked at in a 4-3-3 with Pogba playing on the left of that three, was looked at as being absolutely amazing. We didn't have that very many concerns with the team. Hindsight, we look back and go, I wouldn't want that team back. But at the time, we rated that team and we had a world-class manager. We go back to LVG. Both LVG summer transfer windows had Manchester United fans drooling with the players that we bought in, and we had an established world-class proven manager, and we didn't do better than we're doing now. Yes, we won some trophies, but winning those trophies was never good enough at the time, remember? So we can't now say it's good enough. Like, Ollie just winning FA Cups and League Cups isn't good enough for Man United. You need someone who's going to challenge for a league title, because that's what we said about having the world-class proven managers. And I suppose that's my only issue when it comes to the kind of the revision of history, is that if I go back in time, we were happy with our when we signed in that summer Bastian Schweinsteiger and Morgan Schneiderlin. The consensus with Man United fans was we're going to bust midfields now. When we signed Pogba, Mkhitaryan, and Zlatan, we were going to bust the Premier League. We had guile, quality, skill, strength, everything, and we had world-class managers. Didn't work. So now we're in this position. I think it's disingenuous to say that if LVG or Jose or another world-class manager had this squad, we'd be doing better, because there's no proof of that. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, we've been there before with squads that we thought were amazing, and it didn't come off. And interestingly, there's only 3 or 4 players in our squad that are universally rated by the majority of Man United fans. No one really rates our centre-back pairing. Half the fans don't like Luke Shaw. Half the fans don't like what AWB does. The midfield gets ripped apart every single game by fans. Rashford's overrated. Greenwood isn't there yet. And Bruno's a stat padder. Like, this is what Man United fans are saying now. So why would a world-class manager get more out of all those players that we don't rate? Do you get where I'm coming from, KJ, when I say that? Oh, we can't hear you, bro. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, yeah. Now I understand what the guy's saying. And I also believe we would be playing better football under a proven attacking manager, because you can say, get a world-class manager in, and Simeone is a world-class manager. So an attacking world-class manager, we would be playing better football. That's no doubt about that. Would I do that right now? No, because what club sacks a manager when he's about to go top of the league, or is level on points with the champions? No one does that. You know what I mean? Because there's no need to in that moment in time. So I'm not saying people who want Ollie gone, or who want a better manager are wrong, or they're not a fan for saying that. I'm just like, think of the timing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do that now, and this new proven attacking manager comes in, he's got his system that everyone wants, yeah? But that system will not kick in the first that he comes in. That would also take time. So say if it takes time for the system to kick in and get the football you want, and it takes 6 months, but in that 6 months, the form dips because the players are like, what's the system? I have to try and get used to it, blah, blah, blah. Y'all also be upset. You know what I'm saying? So either way, managers can't win in this moment in time. So just give it to the end of the season, and then we assess then. And if Ollie hasn't got top 4, if Ollie hasn't done good enough, then yeah, get rid of him. No one, not us two here we're not attached to Ollie like that. It's not Ollie must stay. It's the pagans are pagans and Woodward's a Wallad. That's what it is.
Yeah, of course. And it's about progression. Like you say, what would happen if we brought in Nangelsmann, Allegri, Simeone? We did a madness and we managed to get Klopp to come in. I'm just throwing out things that are so far-fetched, but whatever happens. If there was a dip-off and we didn't win the league then this season, so we dipped and we fell to third while the new managers integrating themselves, etc., you would create, it would be a different group of people, but you would create a very noisy group again that would be, they want that manager out because look, we were tracking towards maybe winning a league title and you took us backwards. And then you would have this same thing again of in versus out. This is great, this isn't. And what you might, and do you know what, in 2 years' time, if we hadn't won a league title, you'd have more revising of history about how things were getting better with Ollie, but it would be, the grass was greener, it snowed every Christmas, every summer it was hot for 3 or 4 months. That's why actually my memories as a kid, I feel like every single summer holidays were like hot every day. It's actually a lie. Your good memories are when it was hot days and you were out with your friends. Nostalgia takes over. And I think for me, changing a manager now, when the trajectory is going up, when we're about to go clear at top of the league, I understand the rationale, why you want it, but in practicality, it doesn't make sense to do it. And it really isn't a good message to send out to the squad. And it's an awful message to send out to potential managers that you could be just about to push yourself. One of the reasons why LVG had a big fallout with Man United, because he felt that the team was about ready to click with a couple more signings. And then, boom, they got rid of him. It's why there was a lot of animosity behind the scenes. Imagine doing that mid-season where Ollie could argue, it's clicking now. 10 games unbeaten, 8 wins out of the last 2. We're about to go 3 points top of the league, clear of 2 of the best teams in Premier League history. And yet you're about to sack me. Like, when you say that out loud, it doesn't make any sense. There's a comment here from Mohammed who says, this is Man United's semi-final game. The next couple of games so far. This is Man United's semi-final game. The next couple of games so far, they haven't won a semi-final under Ollie. Lol. Listen, I think it's the same. I understand what you mean. It's a gateway. It's a gateway to achieving bigger and better things. And on that, KJ, we play Liverpool back to back. Thoughts on the FA Cup? I mean, were them balls heated or what, bro? That was
when I saw Liverpool, who are going to be our opponents, I was like, it just is what it is, isn't it? Like, United, I'm not saying United like themselves love big teams, but we get big teams in the FA Cup, like on the way there. It just happens. The last time even the one we won, I saw we faced Man City on the way to the trophy. The one where we got to the final with Jose, we faced Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like, we are always playing big teams in the FA Cup. So it's one of those ones where it's like, it was bound to happen. So it's just like, wish it wasn't so early, but it is what it is. Do I think we'll go through? Yeah. Personally, the only way we go through is if they play Adrian and Origi and Shaqiri and them man there. That's it.
It's such an interesting one for me because a lot of Liverpool fans have said, I was chatting to Gav actually yesterday, and Gav was sort of saying he thinks it'll be too weakened sides. I think he's right, but it's how weak. And what I mean by that is I still think Man United will play 5 or 6 of our players that start against Liverpool in the league will start that FA Cup game, in my view. There will be rotation, no doubt. But I think he'll make that. I think with Liverpool, this will really test Liverpool's resolve because generally in the FA Cup, and we've even seen it with, like, remember the team they put out in a Merseyside derby in the FA Cup? It was fringe and youth. If they play fringe and youth against Man United, I think we'll beat them. But I'm all for that because for me, I have to be consistent in my opinions. And when you've got a squad Man United size, I don't agree with playing a ridiculously weak team in such a big game in the 4th round of the FA Cup. If we were playing Cheltenham or Chorley, cool. Give 2 or 3 academy players a debut and all your fringe players get a game. If you're playing Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, City, Tottenham, I might have missed one of the big teams, Leicester, I think you play a strong team. Maybe not your strongest, but you've got to play a strong team because I want to go through. I want to go through to the next round. And Liverpool for me would take it seriously if they got to the semis and beyond. So if you knock them out before that, you don't have to worry about them later on down the line. The madness is, though, the 5th round draw is fairly simplistic. Like, Man United would probably have the hardest. Well, actually, you might end up with Everton, Tottenham, I think. That could be a draw. That happens. Man United, West Ham could happen. But again, there's going to be no big, like gigantic teams clashing in that round, which means if you all get through to the 5th round, barring one of Liverpool and Man United are out, it's going to set up some massive quarterfinals and semis. And so I quite like the big teams avoiding each other round 3, round 4, rounds 5, because it means as round 6 and the semis and whatnot come into fruition, that they tend to be much bigger and more potent in relation to that. But it's massive. What's the sort of sense across social media? Obviously, you're busy out there. Your Twitter account's going all the time. You're talking to United fans and rivals. What's the kind of consensus? What are you seeing from United fans ahead of tonight?
I ain't gonna lie, yeah. For the last couple of days, man's been off the team. Like I've just been barely on it, been doing other things. So I couldn't tell you, fam. I hope it's people being happy, being excited, and being confident that we can win. But you never know with our fan base. We could smash a team 5-0 and someone would be upset. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is.
Well, yeah, we spoke about this a few times in the last couple of days on various streams about overreactions and whatnot. And as we said, I would never revise history with the opportunity of making things better if the secondary option was for it to be worse. So we beat Liverpool 1-0 with a last-minute penalty. The Man United fans moaning, saying, "Oh, if we'd have started Van der Beek, we could have actually beaten them 2-0 in the game." Listen, if Will Smith turned up to me all painted in blue and said, "Listen, bruv, you've got 3 wishes," I wouldn't be wishing for that game to be replayed with Donny starting. If we win, if we lose or draw, you go, "All right, I'll gamble," because it's win-win. Do you know what I mean? We could either end up in the same position or a better one. Once you've won. You've got to move on. Josh here says, "I think Ollie will prioritize the Premier League and the FA Cup. But yes, a proper rivalry in the FA Cup. We must play a strong team as Man United." I agree with you there, Josh. And equally, the Europa League's interesting. It's a month or so until it starts. I think depending upon our league position, that will dictate how strong the teams we are that play in the Europa League.
I am all for bunning that competition. I'm for it. And even no matter where we are, innit? No matter where we are, bun that competition. We don't need the foolish fixture list, bro. You know what I mean? We don't need the Thursday, Sunday, or Thursday, Monday foolishness. We don't need that. Bun it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Ollie, but the thing is, for Ollie, I get it. He needs something to vindicate himself at this football club. He needs something to get a sum of the haters and the people who doubt him off his back. Not all of them, some of them. So I understand if he wanted to go out and win the Europa League, it makes sense. But for me, I'm like, yo, what makes more sense is securing top 4 and potentially going after an FA Cup. The Europa League is too long. The Europa League is long. It's too long. Too late.
Bro,
no.
I hear you. Do you know what it comes down to? This is where I want fans to give an opinion, and I almost want them to try their best to stick to it, because I see 2 things happening here. If we play much weakened sides and go out in the next knockout round, or we get through this stage, we get to the last 16 and we go out because we feel like we're in a title race, and we end up, let's say we end up winning the league, or you know, and you get to the end of the season and we're like, oh, look at the semi-finalists in the Europa League. We could beat all of them, and we could have won 2 trophies this year. People, again, they'll change their stance and be like, well, why didn't we play stronger teams here and there? If we end up pushing for the league title and drop off at the end, and we end up finishing 3rd and we're already out of the Europa League, people will be like, oh, but we could have won a trophy. Other than that, we've just made the top 4. I would really like to see people give an opinion on this and then stick to that opinion. And for me, I look at it like I'm happy to play a weakened team if we're in a title race until we're not in a title race, and hopefully we're still in it, and then we can improve the quality of the side. The FA Cup for me, I would look at, for me, as a more prestigious trophy. If someone said to me now, would you rather win the FA Cup or the Europa League? The only reason you pick the Europa League over the FA Cup is if you're not in the top 4. You get Champions League qualification and you want to be in the Champions League. So it's hard to juggle. But right now, we are in the hunt for 3 trophies. Rotation is going to be key. And I'm not writing off any. What I'm saying is you have a priority to what's important. But what I would say is don't pick a team that's so weak that you know you're not going to go through. Don't pick 9 academy players to play in Europa League. Don't do nothing crazy like that. Because for me, I still think, if I look at Liverpool in the last 2 or 3 years, I still think their squad's been strong enough and good enough to cope with an extra 2 or 3 games to have gone deeper into the FA Cup and actually win multiple trophies in a season. Because again, Liverpool have done it a couple of times in my lifetime. They did it with that I remember. They did it with the FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League. But when you win, we've done it as Man United. When you win multiple trophies, the season just feels
because I've been saying this, man. Liverpool FC, yeah. Look at one at a time, FC fam. One thing at a time. Where's your double? Where is your double, Liverpool? Where's your treble? Where is it? It is nowhere to be seen because you man take one trophy at a time. It is what it is.
I actually want to look at this and see. For me, doubles and trebles are important. So I want to go to Liverpool honours here, right?
So before you go, Terry, the Club World Cup plus the Super Cup and the Premier League ain't a treble. I'm sorry, it is not a treble.
No, but isn't it? The double is FA Cup and League. The treble is FA Cup, League, and Champions League. You can do a domestic treble. I'll give you that. You can do a European domestic double, is in Premier League, Champions League. That's it. Any other combination? If we do an FA Cup and Europa League this year, it's not a double. It's 2 trophies. That's what it comes down to. So when I look at Liverpool, when was the last time Liverpool did a double? Right. So the last time, well, we have to go back to they won the league. So the last time they actually did the double, I think it was 90. It's
Liverpool LFC 1892 says it was 1985-86 season.
Yeah, so I've just seen that here. Yeah, so 1985-1986 season. So I was 1 year old. I'm 30. It's 34 years since Liverpool have done a double. To not want to, and these are the legacy here, and I mean this with so much respect. I'm not having a go at you, Liverpool. That is what legacies are built on. Points totals for me pale into insignificance when it comes. If you win a double this year, if Liverpool fans, if you won the treble this year, would that mean more than winning the league with 100 points if that's the only thing you won? 100% it is, because that's so much more memorable. And you could do that this season. If you play kids against Man United and get knocked out, for me, it's giving up the chance of immortality, legacy, a dynasty that goes beyond the breadth of win percentages and points totals, which don't get you anything extra. The only thing I would say about the Invincibles, the trophy was gold. So at least there was something. But what I mean is,
there was something, like it was something.
There's a tangible element to it. For me, life's about tangible things, coupled with the passion and the love and the excitement. And for me, getting 100 points, if you got 100 points and they made the trophy platinum, I'd give it to you. Do you know what I mean? If you got an extra, if everyone in the team got given an individual Premier League trophy and a medal, I'll be like, okay, you got something extra. But what is there? You've got to go for the doubles, Liverpool, because I want my team to do it. If we, inexplicably, against all odds, win the Premier League, I want a double as well, bruv. I do. I want to have a chance of doing it. So I don't want us to just throw this game away. I feel like it's a waste. I really, really do. Would I want us to play our strongest team against Liverpool if we've got a Premier League game 3 or 4 days later, which I think might actually be happening? No, because I think that's stupid. We didn't even do that in the treble season when we were the best. You have to rotate, but you have to rotate with a bit of guile and with a bit of sense in many, many ways, I think. But let's hope at 10 o'clock tonight we are not acting like Arsenal fans crying. That Arsenal fan crying in the car. Burnley! That was funny. Listen, whatever happens tonight, some Man United fans will be moaning. I'm sure if we win 3-0, I'm sure Aaron's going to be on his saying, I'm so disappointed with Sean Dyche's tactics.
That made me die. Every time I think about it, makes me die.
He wasn't defensive enough. He left too many spaces. He made it easy for Rashford. He let Bruno shoot from the edge of the box. He didn't put enough on Maguire. I'm so annoyed that he let us win. It's like, just for a second, Aaron, you're right. Oh yeah, I'm happy though, bruv. And then boom, we'll be going, and that's what it'll do, bruv.
Well, I remember that game, man. I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? You're unhappy with Tuchel, fam. What is wrong with you, bro? Well, there's a comment here. How can being World Club Championships not be significant, bruv? That tournament it's like four games.
Yep.
It's 4 games against teams that nearly every European team is better than. You know what I mean? It's not that hard.
Exactly, Bob. Do you know what it comes down to? It's one of those things for me. It's a trophy, and it means you won last season. Liverpool won 3 trophies. There's no doubt. They won the Super Cup, the World Club Championship, and they won the Premier League. That isn't a treble. It isn't a variation of a treble. There's one true treble, and you can argue now that you can do a domestic treble where you win all 3 domestic trophies. I still don't really think. Actually, I'm going to denounce that. It's not a treble. It's a 3 trophy season. It isn't the treble. There's the double. There's the treble. There's a European double. They're the only ones that get those names. They're the legacy binders. Now, for me, what City did winning all 3 is excellent. It's the 3 major domestic trophies you can win. Legacy is built upon doubles and trebles. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? I'm not going to allow football to be rewritten. Growing up as a child, learning about football, trebles and doubles are what teams chased. Double winning teams are the most famous teams in the history of our sport. I'm not rewriting it. And do you know what I was thinking about the other day? I thought about this in the shower, bruv. I said it last night on the stream. I'm sick and tired of people trying to rewrite the history of football or rewrite the history of Man United or to change it now into something different. Trebles and doubles are the important things. Man United blood and youth is an important thing. Man United DNA is about work rate, passion and desire and dedication to that badge and football club, regardless of your quality. And do you know what my analogy was? This is how it feels to me. I'm going to say this to you and you'll get this, bro. To me, when someone tries to change the culture and the history of my sport to fit what they would like, or my team, this is what I say. It's like trying to jerk rice, bruv. and you get me, yeah? And you know it's true. So I don't care that Jamie Oliver is a Michelin star chef. I don't care that Jamie Oliver could probably cook jerk chicken better than a lot of people that cook it on a day-to-day basis because he's a professional. I remember Gordon Ramsay doing that once, and this woman was like on one of those shows, and she was like, "You can't cook it, you're English." And he made it, and she ate it, and she was like, "It's actually the best I've ever had before in my life." These people are professionals, so I don't care how good Jamie Oliver is a cook. For me, culturally, you can't jerk rice. You can't do it. For me,
jerk rice.
I don't even know. Exactly. I don't even, for me, when I see this is a cultural thing. When I read that there was jerk rice, I didn't really think about it because I don't get it. And then when I saw social media popping off and you're listening to everybody, I'm like, right, it's right. So for me, when people turn around and say the United way is a myth, or they say, I don't care that the double was a big thing 50 years ago, we're changing. No, you're not, bruv. You're not jerking my rice, bruv. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. And that's my analogy. I'm sticking with it, bruv.
You're not jerking my rice.
Everyone knows that isn't aware that is maybe not from England. We've got a famous chef in the UK that brought out he has like a food brand of like instant ready to make meals, and he brought out rice, and it was called jerk rice.
And in Caribbean culture, you don't jerk rice, bro. What is that? What is that? All right, listen. Where is it? Mesh here. What is jerk rice? Exactly. It shouldn't be a thing. It's
but that's my point, bruv. So when you start saying things like Liverpool did a treble last year, it isn't a thing, and that's it isn't a treble. It isn't a thing. It's 3 trophies in a season, but you're trying to turn it into something it's not. Like rice is something, jerking particular foods is something, but together, nah.
Yeah, so it doesn't.
So when people talk about the Man United DNA, it's not about ability. It's about desire, passion, work rate, dedication, and not just running around. Do you know what? People get these things confused. It isn't you run around the pitch like a headless chicken doing nothing. It's about you persevere, you work hard, you try to better yourself in each and every single game. Bruno Fernandes has the Man United DNA. It's intrinsic within him. Eric Cantona had it. Wayne Rooney had it. They weren't from the academy. A lot of people misinterpret. Patrice Evra had it in abundance. Now, the greats of the club have the DNA mixed with amazing talent and they become superstars. But at the same time, you also need those players, the Fletchers, the Wes Browns, the O'Sheas, the Nicky Butts, the Scott McTominays, who are never going to be those stars, but you need them in that squad. And they actually help. They help when new people join the squad around, this is how we behave as a team. This is how we operate. Yes, your ability is outstanding, but without the work rate, without the perseverance, without you trying to become better every week, I don't want to sign Amad Diallo. We know how good this young boy is going to be. He's going to come in and look good. I want him every day in training, working to make himself better every day. One of the greatest footballers of all time, Two of the greatest footballers of all time do that every single day, even now in their 30s, Messi and Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is the embodiment of the Man United DNA. So people that say it doesn't exist, you're wrong. You just got to educate yourself on what it actually is. People misinterpret it, bruv. And for me, I'm a bit sick and tired of people saying it isn't a thing. It is. It's imperative. Without it, Man United will fall apart in terms of on the field of play. But I agree with them. You can't just have 11 Scott McTominays. You're never going to win either. It's a combination. It's a mix. It's a blend. But never, ever jerk my rice. That's all I'm saying.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But now, like, we're talking about Man United DNA. This game builds that Man United DNA. Beating Burnley, going top of the league, that builds that Man United mentality of I personally believe the mentality of the United DNA is the mentality of winning and putting your body on the line and making sure you're winning at every, like, if you come off that field and you haven't put maximum into winning, then we need to think about it. You know what I mean? We need to question you, because that's what the Man United DNA is. It's not just about being British or just working hard and that's it. You have to have, like I said, you've got to have both. Like, if you're a player that only works hard but doesn't mind losing, I don't want you. You know what I mean? Because you're a loser. Yes. I don't care how hard you work, you're a loser, bro. You know what I mean? So it's not just about they just have to work hard. You have to have the desire, the mentality to win. And we can't say this team has fully got the DNA yet. It's got little parts of it. We need to add the winning part. We need to add the winning trophies, winning leagues part to it. But we've got the base. Some of them have the basis. Rashford's got the basis of it. You can see it. McTominay, whatever you think of it, he's got the basis of it. You know what I mean? No one's saying that they're the greatest players on the planet, but they've got something that we need at this football club, which we've been missing. We have been missing those people who love to win. Carrick and Rooney, at the time, their bodies were coming down to an end. They can't help that. They still have the mentality, but their bodies were like, nah, bruv, like, we ain't doing this no more. So we needed the fresh young players to come in and do the job. And players are from abroad and from different clubs to come in and pick up the DNA. And it's taking a while. It's taking its time. But we're getting back there. The United DNA is not a bad thing, because without it, we wouldn't have won how many league titles on the 30.
Absolutely. For me, one thing you said that it stood out massively, it's absolutely nothing to do with being British. It's nothing to do with age. It's nothing to do with gender. It's nothing to do with any immutable element of a football player. It's to do with two things. It is a winning mentality coupled with work rate, but it's surrounded by your connection to the football club. And maybe that's why a lot of the people that denounce it, like I've said, I think they like the football club in a different way. I think they support it in a different way. And the reason I like the expression of DNA is I share DNA with my brother. Me and my brother are best friends, but we have a connection that's deep beyond that. But you can meet somebody else that doesn't have the same DNA as you and have everybody has generally a friend or two where they feel about them in the same way that they do a brother. That there's a closeness, there's a bond. You do anything for them, and it's because you share a connection. So when it comes to the DNA at Manchester United, it's your win rate, your winning mentality, your work rate, your perseverance, your dedication, matching the standards of the football club and it integrating, i.e. the connection. It's just what I mean. That's me explaining it. That's how it was explained to me. It's like you've got to encompass this. Although we ended up disliking him because he went to our rivals, one of the biggest rivals at Man United that I saw who just embodied it straight away was Carlos Tevez, because he had the quality, but you just saw this guy give everything on that. Once he crossed that white line, he fought tooth and nail to make Man United win football matches. Wayne Rooney did this as an example. Now you can do it in your own style. It isn't just people think it's about running around, and it isn't about running around. It's about are you doing everything? But Eric Cantona didn't run around like a blue ass fly, but you saw him in games tirelessly working hard, carried on going. He might try a pass to put Beckham through, or in his earlier days, Lee Sharp through, or Giggs through, or to set up Andy Cole and it's not coming off. Did he give up? Did he shy away from the challenge, or did he keep fighting for that ball? Did he keep asking for the ball and do what he does? People misinterpret it. They misinterpret it because they see a player they dislike associated with it. It's like, oh, I don't like McTominay, and they say he has it, so I don't like the DNA, which is a madness, because I guarantee you more players that if Fergie come out now and said who embodied the United DNA best, I bet you we would name 80% of the players that you love. More players you love have it than don't.
Mm.
And it's one of the reasons, and body language is important because people want to see you doing these things. And for me, that's what it's all about, mate. And it's about that connection. And every club will have a different level of
You know what's funny, yeah?
Go on, mate.
The same people that denounced United DNA don't realise Paul Pogba's actually got that United DNA. He does, and people will be like, "What are you talking about? You don't do X, Y, and Z." But this is what we're saying. It's not about being the guy to run all the way up to the top of the pitch and then all the way back down. It's about the desire to win, wanting to make the magic happen so the team wins the game. You know what I'm saying? Paul Pogba, when something doesn't go off, he's vexed. You know what I mean? He is vexed. When we lose, he's vexed because he wants United to be the best.
Exactly. And it's one of these things you can see this manifest itself. And when I say about perseverance and working hard, again, it isn't just you running around like a blue-ass fly. A lot of it is what we don't see. So when you sometimes hear, oh, why is, I'm not even going to name names because everyone gets triggered. Why is Joe Bloggs not starting when we know he's a better quality player than John Smith? I'm telling you that very rarely are there agendas. There's going to be a logical reason for it. I look at someone like Marcus Rashford because I know he does this, but I know David Beckham used to do it in the past. So I use Beckham as an example, a player that's universally respected. The guy would stay behind after training for 2 or 3 hours a day to practice his set pieces. So there'd be time in actual training where they work on set pieces, but he might go 3 days where they haven't worked on it. But he would stay behind and work on his free kick taking, his corners, his direct free kicks, he's shooting from free kicks. He would just by himself go out there, put it all up. He'd have like a goalie would come along. Sometimes a big goalie, sometimes it wouldn't. But he would do 6 hours work a week minimum by himself just on that. Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was going through that transformation of his body and he was great and he knew he needed to be stronger, he needed to be in better shape. He trained with Man United. Obviously he didn't have as much, he was obviously rich, but didn't have the kind of money that he's got now to have gyms in his own house and stuff. There was a gym fairly local to me in Manchester where you weren't allowed in at a certain time because they used to have some elite level athletes in there. This guy would train with Man United during the day, do extra training at Carrington after training, would go home, rest, and in the evenings where he could, because there was no games or they weren't traveling, he was in there doing extra work, weightlifting, sort of a lot of conditioning work to make himself better. That for me is an embodiment. He was doing everything he could. Dimitar Berbatov did it once, and this was a thing. United fans weren't sure on him. And then something came out during the summer of 2010, during the World Cup. He spoke about it in an interview, and we saw a difference in him in the beginning of the next season. Before preseason side, he went on 2 10-mile runs per day. He did one in the morning. He said he'd get home, rest, watch the first 2 World Cup games, and then before the 3rd World Cup game, he'd then go out and run again. And Man United fans see, that's what I want to see. What we don't like seeing, and by the way, Rooney had a lot of great things about him, but what he used to get up to in preseason would annoy United fans because it's like, you lose that dedication. Rooney was brilliant for 10 months of the year. 2 months of the year, I used to find he lost himself because he let himself go. So that's what I mean by, are you doing everything in your power to keep the eye of the tiger? Are you doing everything in your power to make sure when you step across that line, you're 100% ready? Now, I know for a fact that not every team has that mentality because not all fans care that much. And the winning teams have it. And that's what I like right now at Man United, about Rashford, about Bruno, about Pogba, about McTominay, even about Maguire. I can see they want it. I can feel they want that. What my issue is with Luke Shaw, I look at him physically and I don't feel like he truly, truly wants it because I believe he should be in better shape. I think he could do something. He could eat different and do extra training after. I listen, I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will publicly apologize. I think he does 9 to 5 training. Not that they train 9 to 5, but I think he does 9 to 5 and then he leaves his job at work and goes home and lives the rest of his life. Do you know what I mean? I know man has pie and chips at least twice a week. I know it. I know he does, bruv. And I ain't got an issue with that personally, but I feel like on a professional level, that's right. Do you understand what I'm saying about the dedication?
No, always say dedication.
And when I think about it is this. I joined a new kickboxing school once, and these guys, I knew how good they were. They won a lot of tournaments. They were the main people, and they went around the country plucking the best people from certain schools. They would offer them apartments, and they could come train with them as sponsors. They were great. I got invited to go and train with them, right? I'll be honest with you, mate. I was good at my sport. I did 2 training sessions in a day. I did a morning and I did an evening session. And my dad rings me, how'd it go? I said, I ain't joining them, Dad. So why, guys? I said, I ain't got the dedication for it. I said, I don't have the perseverance to work that hard twice a day, 6 days a week. I can't do it. See, people in that team, they were the elite of the elite mentality. They weren't there because they were technically better than me. They had better fitness, but why were they had better fitness and maintain that technical ability over me? Because they had the perseverance and the mindset and the match of DNA or the match of ethics or the match of work, perseverance and dedication and passion that club and that school demanded. My school and club was good, but didn't demand that level from me. It's why we were very good at what we did, but my club weren't the world class.
And as you said, everywhere has it. Even if you go to, like, if you worked for Google, Amazon, all these different places, these tech companies and all, they may not be saying words like DNA, but they say things like workplace culture, work ethic. Does it match ours? You know what I mean? So everywhere in life has these things. It's not exclusive to Man United. Like, everyone has it. Like, so like so when people say you don't exist or you don't matter, like I used to be one of those people. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wasn't. I used to be one of those people until I took my angry glasses off and be like, right, what actually is it? And I'm like, yo, everywhere's got it. If I had a business, because I want one day, I would want a certain ethic, a certain culture, a certain DNA of the people who work for me.
Well, KJ, let me ask you a question. We're not going to reveal anything we talk about, but when I speak to you about what you do with the Football Terrace, with that vibes, clips, is there a standard I have and a level of frustration I share if that standard isn't met?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the DNA of the Football Terrace. You know, because I've given you the feedback. You fit it almost perfectly without even trying. There was a natural fit because your mentality fit what I needed. So I could coin that as the Football Terrace way of, or the DNA as an overarching sort of soundbite, if you like, and word, but it exists. So people that, I said before, people that disregard it, most of the time, I don't really think they know what they're disregarding, if that makes sense. Or maybe, like I've said before, they got released from football clubs, or, you know, they got let go in a job, or they didn't get something because they were told they didn't lack the work ethic or the perseverance or the passion, and it stuck with them, and it's a scar. I've been told that before, bruv. It was where I learned about attitude. I basically didn't get a job, and it was an interesting one because they basically said they're not sure if I got the right attitude for it. I basically, at the time, they said I blamed too many other people for my own mistakes. And I came out of being told I didn't get the job, and I was fuming, and I took a couple of days off. And I came back in and I got pulled aside by one of my mentors, and she just said, look, they meant what they said, but they're going to really watch your reaction to not getting the job. And if your performance drops, if your attitude becomes bad, they're going to know they didn't get it. And essentially, you'll get blacklisted from moving forward because they'll know that when you don't get what you want, you're not a team player. Just bear that. She was like, I'm not saying you're going to do that, but I do know you're a hothead, Terry. So relax. Big up yourself, Christine Williams, my old boss, amazing woman. And I got my head down and worked even harder and improved. Within 6.5 weeks, there was an opening for a similar role, and I didn't have to do an assessment because I already passed one. Offered the job straight outright, and the MD at the time said, look, I think I was a bit harsh about the attitude. What you've shown since not getting the job is world class. And it taught me that you can't control 99% of things in this world. The one thing that's 100% down to you is your attitude and your reaction. And since that point, my reaction to things hasn't always been great. As I admitted on the stream Friday, but I'm more aware of it, that you're in control of how you react to things, nobody else. There's a comment here from Josh. Thank you, Josh. A long time no see. I actually haven't seen you on the stream in ages, Josh. Nice to see you back, bro. Says, I think Ollie has identified his mentality better than anyone after Fergie. If Ollie isn't the guy, if Ollie isn't the guy, he has to be the director of football for his recruitment.
No. Let's keep Ollie a director of culture. Yes, have him in the background in the rooms with the DOF and doing like a culture exam or a DNA exam or something. Yeah, let him do that. Don't let him be the one picking Monday and talking.
What I'd love to do, man, is to troll some people and make it, when he steps down as manager, make his title like director of United DNA or United culture or something like that. But no, listen, I think with Ollie, in fairness, his recruitment hasn't been that. Let's see what happens. Dan James, you could argue, is a flop, but at the price, it's not a risk. I don't really think the rest of his signings, I think the rest of his signings have been pretty good. Like, comparing it, like, on a percentage level, if you went through hit or miss with the majority, you'd say, like, yeah, he's done cool. I mean, let's see what happens with Palestri and Diallo. If Diallo turns out to be a star, what I love about the Diallo deal, this is, like I do attitude Terry here, but you know how every newspaper that's done an article in the last week about him has put him in as the third or fourth most expensive the second most expensive teenager in Man United's history at 37 million. I'm like, it costs 18 million. If he doesn't perform and play, it doesn't cost us 37. They're literally, I say they inflate Man United's prices. He's cost us £2.5 million more than Dan James. That's all. And if he has as many performances as Dan James has in the next 18 months, we won't be paying the other 17 million. Like he has to play hundreds of games for us, score dozens and dozens of goals, and win trophies here for us to pay that out. So that's what I love about that deal. But by the way, if you're watching now live, make sure you go onto the homepage of the Football Terrace and check out the style of play explained video, a tactical analysis video of Amad Diallo. What I'm going to tell people about him now is very reminiscent of Marcus Rashford in the way he plays. He looks to shoot far more than he looks to pass and cross. Bear that in mind and accept it. That's what he does. There's going to be times where you think, square it. He's not going to. He's going to put it onto his left peg, shimmy a man. He's going to shoot. Twisted Bubba here with a super chat says, the board don't want to win. Why would your players?
Well, all players want to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they become footballers, because they want to win stuff. But I get the sentiment. If, like, when the people at the top aren't asked about winning and don't care about winning, and if you fail, it's okay, it will seep into the players like, oh, I want to win, but if I lose, it's fine. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it does seep in. So, like, you're right, Twisted. Like, our board are I always say the board are the biggest issue. They're the ones who need to get sorted. They've been failing longer than any manager has at this football club. So, like, I would love the fans all to get on that train, but everyone's got their different agendas. Everyone's got putting their energy in different areas. So all I can say is, Viva la Resistance, if you want to be a part of it, stop wearing United shirts and stop buying them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, forget these studies, man.
I hear that, and I understand where he's coming from. I think for me, I'd rather, again, I'm Ollie. I would make the board get tough in terms of around, if you fail as a player, if your attitude isn't right, we get rid of you. That needs to be the way things are going forward. There needs to be accountability for bad performances. And bad performances, I don't just mean you didn't have a good game. Did you keep trying, though? So for me, if tonight Van der Beek starts and in the opening 20 minutes, he touches off and his passes are not coming off, and then the rest of the game, he's a ghost, I've got an issue with that. If he tries all game and it doesn't come off, he embodied the Man United DNA in terms of person. He tried. He kept on going. He tried to make something happen. He didn't shy away. He didn't bottle it. He didn't walk away. Didn't perform, but I can accept somebody failing when they tried their best. What I don't like is someone that didn't try. I've got an issue with people that fail to try when you don't give it your all. And I know people say, how can you tell someone didn't give their all? Bro, we're all human beings. It isn't hard to look at someone who isn't interested. If I'm sitting here if Kay is talking, I'm just sitting here. I don't know if you know what I'm thinking, but you can look at me and go, Terry ain't really that interested, is he? You can tell when someone is or they isn't. It's as simple as that for me. But big game tonight. So excited about it. I really am. But I almost feel like I just want to go to sleep, bruv. A comment here says from Julian says, why have we not gone for Caicedo? £5 million, not a gamble at all. Woodward and co still seem to be the issue here. Imagine him going to City or Paul and doing a madness face in hands. Do you know what I'd say to this? There's logic to it. We've got a lot of other young players that we've bought of a similar age. It's two things. How many can you develop at the same time? How many can you persevere with and develop at the same time? Secondly, let's wait and see what we've got planned for the DM role in the summer. Because if Man United last week got the okay to go for Ndidi in the summer, then there's no room to even develop Caicedo. There's no room to develop him. You don't need an 18-year-old that's going to need lots of game time. What you need is squad and fringe players of the 23 to 26-year-old period to be the backup to those areas. So we have sometimes what we have to do is not react in the moment and see how things pan out. If we don't buy a DM for 2 or 3 years and this lad goes on to be the next Ndidi, then we can moan about not signing him. But listen, I remember Man United fans crying about not getting Renato Sanchez as an example, and no one cares anymore.
It's going to Brighton, apparently. So, like, we're going to be able to see him, and we're going to see the level he's at right now. He might be a player that, we end up buying because he's developed it at Brighton, and then we go for him. Yes, it'll be one of those ones. Now we spent 50 million on him when we could have spent 5. Like, yes, I know, but that 5 million shows that he wasn't ready to be at Man United at the time.
We may not have had the capacity to play him and develop him at that point because we needed to go elsewhere. Equally, though, if I was to ask United fans now, who would you pick, Basuma or Quesedo? I'd pick Basuma. So let's just say these are the things. I'm not saying United have done it. I've heard rumours he's going to Arsenal. This could be true. But Man United could have turned around and been like, do you know what? Look, we want to get Basuma off you in the summer. We'll pull out of the Quesedo deal. We'll maybe put a word in that he goes to you as kind of a round robin type thing. I'm just throwing it out there as, again, logical reason. That one may be a little bit more far-fetched. My truest thought is this, though, that we've got a plan for that area and the decision has been made. Great. Yes, it's only 5 mil, but it's 5 mil that we don't need to spend because with Fred already there, with McTominay already there, with James Garner getting experience at Watford, and maybe an Ndidi or a Basuma coming in, is there the room for this young kid to grow? The answer's no. There just isn't. And if he does kick on and be even better than an Ndidi and cost 30, 40, 50 million pounds, then fair enough. But you can't sign every young up-and-coming player. Otherwise, the vast majority will never reach the highest levels. We just need to be, I think, a little bit more...
I was upset that we didn't sign it, but it's one of those ones where, like, again, when you look at it from those different perspectives, you're like, it's actually not that deep we didn't sign him, you know what I mean? Because, again, we've got our players. We've got Dylan Levitt and we've got James Garner in our academy. So now all of a sudden I want them not to succeed at United. You know what I mean? Because I see this new kid, new shiny new toy, who are based in the same thing. Like, you just got to, sometimes you just got to relax. And I will viva la resistance until the board is gone.
I say this to all United fans that are disappointed. Go to Twitter archives and search what people were saying about Jedson Fernandez 12, 13, 14 months ago. Everybody was gutted when he went to Tottenham. Right now, show me a single fan from any fan base crying that we haven't got Jedson Fernandez as part of our squad. I'm not saying that Quesedo isn't going to go on to be a star. I just stay relaxed about it until we see the labor, the fruits of that labor. It's a relaxed thing. If a player's coming in, great. Terry, you do the same with Aubameyang. Aubameyang is on 250, rising up to no, he's not. He's on £375,000 a week flat. Facts. There we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. We're going to be back 5 p.m. I'm back live. Me and Lee Gunner on the air, chewing the fat, talking all things football, and then after that we'll be live at full time after Man United versus Burnley this evening. Good luck, Ollie. Good luck, United. We don't want a Sean Dyche masterclass tonight. We want to avoid that as best we can. We really do. But until then, everybody, take care of yourselves. A massive goodbye.